Hey, it's JC. Today we're going to discuss how the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting the housing market. The first slide that I want to show you is a quick snapshot of the number of showings that are currently taking place in the market. As you can see, the dark blue line is 2019, the orange line is 2020, and showings have just dropped off a cliff, literally. We're talking about a reduction in almost by 60% of showings. I think obviously that's a sign of some rough times in the market in the coming months. There is a little bit of a silver lining though, in my opinion. There's a company in Richmond called Keeping Current Matters. They do a lot of market research, put out a lot of great content with market statistics. They wrote a blog post a couple weeks ago basically summarizing the 5 reasons why this market that we're in, this housing market that we're in right now, is better suited and in a better position to withstand any kind of recession compared to back in 2008 when the housing market took a huge hit. Really devastating for a lot of homeowners. They list 5 reasons why this time is different. I'm going to show you some slides that are relevant and important in my opinion. I think it's great data to take a look at. Number 1, mortgage standards are nothing like they were back in 2008. This graph right here is mortgage credit availability index. Basically, the higher the number, the easier it is to receive a mortgage. And this line shows you right here pretty clearly that the standards are totally different now than they were back pre-market crash in 2008. Number 2, prices are not soaring out of control like they were back then. This graph right here, the annual home price appreciation, the red graph is back in the years 2000 to 2005. As you can see, there was some double-digit price appreciation. The blue graph, that's 2014 to 2019. The highest it got back in 2017 was 6%. Honestly, we like to keep it in the 3.5% to 4%, which in my opinion is a healthy market. Maybe a little bit higher than what we'd like to see, but nothing compared to 2008. Number 3, we don't have a surplus of homes. We actually have a shortage of supply. The graph that I'm showing you right now is months of inventory. Liquidity in this housing market is defined by months of supply. This is what I'm showing you right now. 2007, we had 8 months of supply, meaning that if every home was going to be sold that was on the market right now, it would take 8 months to sell every one of those homes. Today, right now, we're looking at only 3 months of supply. Totally different situation than it was back in 2007, 2008. Number 4, houses became too expensive to buy in relation to income. This graph right here, percent of median income needed to purchase a home. The red graph is 2006. The blue graph is today. Back in 2006, it took 25% of income to purchase a home. Today, it's 15%. Much easier to purchase now than it was back in 2006. Finally, number 5, and probably the most important in my opinion, is the amount of equity that most homeowners have in their home today compared to 2007, 2008. Back then, people were pulling out equity of their home almost like it was their personal ATM. Nowhere near that compared to today. I've got a graph right here, total home equity cashed out. On the left, it's 2005 through 2007, which totaled almost over $800 billion. The past 3 years we're looking at on the right side from 2007 to 2019 is only $200 billion. So back then, once the market started to crash and home values started to depreciate, there were so many people that had no equity in their home. Their homes were worth less than what they owed on it. They had very little incentive to stay in their home and make those payments. So basically, they either engaged in short sales or they foreclosed. And once that starts happening in a neighborhood, it has a cascade effect and it starts bringing the entire neighborhood down with it. So that was a huge problem back in 2008. I don't think we're in that situation right now. Most of the homeowners in the housing market today have a lot of equity in their home. They do not have an incentive to walk away from that equity, and they were better positioned for honestly a downturn in the market. So to wrap it up, I don't want to be too pessimistic with you. I do feel that there's some pain that we're going to have to endure before we get to the other side of it. I'm not going to pretend that there won't be pain, but I am hopeful. I feel that if employment stays strong and we're not up in the 15-20% unemployment numbers, then the demand for homes that has existed prior to this will return and we'll be back into a healthy housing market. Until then, my best advice is to stay informed, understand what's happening in the market as best you can. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. Call, text, email, anytime. Be glad to help. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.